While people are searching for tiny little leprechauns, what are the leprechauns searching for? Tiny little women. That's cute. Thanks, Nyreen.
That was from this little lady right here.
Now, don't be shooting a video of me drinking beer because that's something. Do you kids like nursery rhymes?
No. Huh? Was saying that.
Well, I know a nursery rhyme. It's not really a nursery rhyme. It's a fairy tale. Can I do it? Okay, here's a fairy tale. This is called. This is the fairy tale about Rindercella. Did you ever hear of Rindercella? Now, see, this goes like this here. Rindercella lived in a very corn country. She lived with her muggly other and her two sad blisters. Now there also lived in this very corn country a hungin' prancing Yince. And he was going to throw a Bancy Fall, and he invited all the reeple from piles around, especially the pitch reeple. Now Rindercella's muggly other and her two sad blisters were going to go to the Bancy Fall and meet the hungin' prancing Yince because they had a drancy fress to wear. But Rindercella didn't have a drancy fress, so she just scat home and cried. But pretty soon, there appeared before her merry mudfather. And her merry mudfather says, Rindercella, would you like to go to the Bancy Fall and meet the hungin' prancing Yince? She says, oh yes, merry mudfather, I would love to go to the Bancy Fall and meet the hungin' prancing Yince. Well, the merry mudfather said, you shall go to the Bancy Fall and meet the hungin' prancing Yince. However, if you're not home before the mid-struck clock night, I shall burn you into a tumpkin. Oh my goodness. I don't want to be turned into a tumpkin. So she went to the Bancy Fall and she had a drancy fress to wear. Then she met the hungin' prancing Yince and they pranced all night long. They did Alswas, Oakvas, and Umets. But pretty soon, the mid-struck clock night.
God, how can you remember that?
And then, when the mid-struck clock night, Rindercella didn't want to be turned into a tumpkin, so she left the Bancy Fall and she staced down the rears. When she got to the bottom, she slopped her dripper. And the hungin'... Oh, I know I messed that up, I'm sorry. And the hungin' prancing Yince couldn't figure out who slopped her dripper all over his front steps. And he went looking all over the countryside. He went from house to house. Finally he came to Rindercella's house. First he tried the dripper on the muggly other, but it didn't dit. Then he tried it on the two sad blisters, and it didn't dit. Finally he tried it on Rindercella, and it fit dit. Now Rindercella and the hungin' prince, handsome Yince, were happily ever afterwards married. Now the moral of the story is, if you ever want to go to a Bancy Fall and meet a hungin' prancing Yince, don't forget to slop your dripper.
That was a lot to remember, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's good, right? Go something like this here. I need new fingers. When was your last time? Yeah, short old rivers. Well, I can't remember when he went around. Oh, that old fella, he did a heap of work. Spent his whole life walking flat ground. He had a one-room shack not far from us, and we was about as poor as him. He had one old mule. He called Midnight, and not really long after them. He plowed them roads straight and deep, and I I'm coming along, way behind, just brushing up clouds with my old Biffy, you see. Old Rivers, he was a friend of mine. Well, that sun would get high, and that old mule would work, and old Rivers would finally say, whoa. He'd lean back in them reins and wipe off his brow and talk about a place you're gonna go. He'd say, one of these days I'm gonna climb that mountain and walk up there among them clouds where the cotton's high and the corn sheets are growing and ain't no fields to plow. I got a letter today. Folks back home, they all fine, but crops are dry. Down near the end, my mom wrote, son, you know it, old Rivers died. Now I'm just sitting here in this fresh plowed earth, trying to find me just a little shade. With that sun beating down across the fields I'd see, that mule, old Rivers and me. He'd say, one of these days I'm gonna climb that mountain and walk up there among them clouds where the cotton's high and the corn sheets are growing and there ain't no fields to plow. The sun beating down across those fields, I'd see that mule, old Rivers, and me. If there weren't any little kitties in here, that's a good one. Thanks, Farmer.
I think there's many people at that other place at all.
To all the girls I've loved before,
Oh, that's a fine Irish.
who travel in and out my door,
That's a fine Irish song.
That's a fine Irish song.
I'm glad they came along. Now squeeze your nose. Dedicate this song, all the girls I've loved before, to all the girls who cared for me and filled my nights with